Hello and welcome to another edition of Sneak Peek Critiques. This is Renee from the Writer's Nexus. Most editors and literary agents know within the first 8 sentences if they want to continue reading a manuscript or not. So that's what we concentrate on in Sneak Peek Critiques, those first 8 sentences. And as an editor myself, I have noticed this to be true. Today we're looking at Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. It's a New York Times #1 bestseller. It was released in August of 2018. Sentence number 1. 1952. The morning burned so August hot, the marsh's moist breath hung the oaks and pines with fog. I like the word August hot and how it's written hyphenated as if it's one word, although it's not really a word in the English language. But that's what you can do when you have a supreme command of the language. You can start making up words here and there, and it actually enhances your descriptions. The marsh's moist breath. I love that because it sounds like it's actually a real living thing. And then the fog was hung on the oaks and pines. It's as if something's being done to the trees. The fog, which is just fog, is being hung on them. So it just makes it feel heavy. And there's such a visceral and visual quality to this first sentence. I really think it's really excellent. And I love how she's described so much with only the words necessary. There really is not an extra word in there that you could take out and still have it make sense. And it's so important for self-published authors to understand this, that the reader needs to have a lot of information coming at them. The story needs to keep moving. There needs to be character revelations continually brought to the surface. And that's part of the reason why those first 8 sentences are so critical, is because if you don't start to establish that right away and get your hooks into the reader's imagination, you're probably not going to keep them much longer than 8 sentences. Sentence number 2. The palmetto patches stood unusually quiet except for the low, slow flap of the heron's wings lifting from the lagoon. It just sounds like like you're watching a documentary. It's amazing. You can just see that bird sort of lift off in slow motion off the top of the water. The description of unusually quiet palmetto patches suggests that there's something in the air, something kind of intense, something kind of off, maybe slightly sinister, but definitely not the norm. Sentence number 3. And then Kaya, only 6 at the time, heard the screen door slap. Alright, here's our first introduction of a human character, and presumably the main character. She's only 6, and she hears the screen door slap. I like the use of the word slap as opposed to slam, and it just seems like it's significant. So let's move on. Sentence number 4. Standing on the stool, she stopped scrubbing grits from the pot and lowered it into the basin of worn-out suds. Alright, this is obviously a hard-working 6-year-old girl, and she's lowering the pot into a basin of worn-out suds, not a sink. So you think that maybe modest surroundings, and she's probably even quite poor. So this says a lot. It also suggests the South with the marshes and the August hot weather. It sounds like it's in the deep South of America somewhere. And once again, the author uses only the necessary number of words. Sentence number 5. No sounds now but her own breathing. Ooh, the tension is now suddenly raised. No sounds now but her own breathing, which does seem odd. If a screen door in the middle of summer has been slammed or slapped, there should be some type of movement or emotion or something to indicate somebody has come in. Let's move on. Sentence number 6. Who had left the shack? Okay, so definitely Kaya and her family are living and or working in a shack. So this does suggest a lot of poverty, but this is also an odd thing that someone would be leaving at that time. Otherwise, why question it? So let's find out. Sentences 7 and 8. Not Ma. She never let the door slam. Okay, so something is definitely starting to go on in Kaya's shack. This could be a big problem for Kaya. And also, we're already on her side. Besides the fact that she's just a young girl, she's obviously a hard-working girl from a family with not a lot of money. It's easy to have a lot of sympathy for a character like this. But if it's not her mother never lets the door slam, but somebody did, and now they're not making any movement. So it suggests somebody has snuck in somehow. That doesn't bode well for a 6-year-old. So, now that we've finished the first 8 sentences, the burning question is, do I, the reader, want to keep reading? Well, absolutely, yes, I do. I've heard a lot about this book. I have not read it, but it makes me absolutely want to. I'm already convinced that the author has supreme command of the English language and knows how to tell a story. I think it's interesting that it's being told in the South, in the summer, with a young, poor girl. It does suggest that it's probably not going to be a super happy story. Hopefully there will be moments of humor here and there. But so far I'm hooked. I am hooked, and I would continue to read this. So that was another bestsellers edition of Sneak Peek Critiques from the Writer's Nexus. We looked at the first 8 sentences of Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. Please visit the Writer's Nexus for more. Thank you for listening, and may you have many imaginative tales.